Good afternoon guys and welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to Dave's mid-handicap driver testing. Here the elusive, sold out, tailor-made mini driver. So Dave has known this club, he's seen it before. Have you used one before, Dave?
No, never. I never even tested it because I was worried about it not being forgiving enough with it being small.
So that's one big thing Dave says. Obviously it looks a little bit smaller. Again, a nice finish on the top, the carbon effect. And again, but Dave just thought worryingly it's a little bit smaller if I hit it off-centered, or is it going to be harder to hit? So again, Dave, looks-wise, how does it look in regards? Yes, it is small.
It's a nice looking driver. I like the carbon effect on the top. Obviously it's got a little mark where the tailor-made mark at the top of the face for lining up. Yeah, I think it's an 8 again. I like it.
Yeah, it's an 8 out of 10. Obviously a little bit small, which Dave is worried about. Again, tee-wise here, this is a big thing. So we're going to need a tee that's a little bit shorter than Dave's usual pink tees. So Dave's got a wooden tee there. We're going to tee this up. And you'll have seen last week, guys, we tested the G425. We haven't been down to collect the golf balls yet. So we are, and the reason why we're doing this on this tee is so we can test how far it goes in comparison to Dave's 425 hits. Again, he hit one, the best drive of the year, he said, with the 425 straight down the middle. He then mishit one, so it'll be interesting to see how this driver compares distance wise out on the golf course and not just on the Trackman. So in we come, Dave. And that's a great shot straight off the bat. So a great hit there. That certainly looks like it has gone past Dave's mishit with the 425. So the reason obviously TaylorMade brought out this club is for people who struggle with a driver. They're not confident. A lot of people get the bigger headed clubs. They start to give it a big hit. They go full blow at it and they can't get the centre of the face. What we have found, or what I've certainly found, is people get this mini driver in the hands, they feel like they have to swing a little bit more controlled, and often they find the centre of the face, just like Dave did there whilst he's laughing, more often.
The elusive centre of the face for me.
Yeah, the elusive centre of the face, but it gives Dave a little bit more control. He can't go as wild at this because the face isn't as big, so obviously it becomes a little bit more controlled. And that's 2 for 2. Straight out of the middle. So Dave, straight away, sound, how does it sound?
It's a bit duller. It feels alright, which I know doesn't sound correct because sounds feel, but yeah, I like it. I'd give it a definite 7.
7 out of 10. So again there guys, what that's going to do for us is it's a good sound, it feels good, it's not obviously as dull as the Callaway Rogue, and it's not as loud as potentially the PXG and the 425. So different sounding drivers, and again it's down to feel. Sound is feel, but again, how does it feel off the face? Dave's feel.
It feels nice. It does feel nice when you hit it.
Dave's saying it does feel nice when you do hit it, and Dave's just hit 2 great shots with it so far. We've not had one of his miss hits yet, so let's see. So slightly mishit. Again, we'll see that in comparison to the 425. That'll be interesting to see how far behind that is, but much more solid shots on all 3 of those. So Dave can see there that obviously the well struck, even though it was a little bit smaller. Confidence wise over the ball, Dave, how did you feel?
Felt good, and if I'm scoring it, you know, even that miss it again wasn't too bad, so a 7 again.
A 7 again. So we need to tally these up. We're going to tally these up at the end of the video. So again, go through those feels, show you what Dave's saying. So far, it's a close one between the Ping, the PXG, and the mini driver. But let's get inside now. Let's hit some shots on Trackman and get the true performance. Although we will go and have a quick look of how they've compared down in the fairway. So guys, interestingly enough, the worst hit one with the mini driver and the worst hit one right there with the 425, there's around about 5 yards in it. So Dave probably struck the mini driver a little bit better, but it's certainly 5 yards behind. It'll be interesting to see up here how much difference there is between the good mini driver shot and the good 425. Okay, so here is Dave's best mini driver, and we can see that it's a good, oh, there she is. It's a good 20 yards behind the good driver. Yep. So although Dave struck that probably just as well as the 425, we can see there's 20 yards difference. But we've got to think there, guys, is that going to be, are you going to be more consistent with a mini driver? Dave struck it better. I wouldn't say it was, although he rated it better, I don't think...
It just felt a bit better, Chris, if I'm honest.
Yeah, it just felt a little bit better to Dave, so that'd be something to think about. If it felt better, would Dave have more confidence to hit more fairways throughout his round of golf and throughout his rounds over the year? Or would it be better, obviously, with the 425? There might be some that are a little bit mishit, which was his top that just reached the fairway. Would he get more of those? So it's thinking about over the course of a season, which is going to be the most consistent.
See what it's like in the studio.
See what it's like in the studio. Okay, so mini driver, very similar to on the golf course, one that Dave liked the look of. The biggest fear was obviously hitting the centre of the face because it's smaller. But we found on those 3 drives, if I quickly go over them, again a little bit towards the toe, but a lot more centred and towards the middle of the face, which for Dave, he said obviously felt the best. And like he's mentioned, is it because it is the same length as his M1? So a similar length, obviously it's exactly the same shaft length. Because the head's a little bit smaller, it's made him think about, right, I can't go at this as hard.
I felt as though I was slowing it down a little bit in my swing, which I probably wasn't, but I didn't feel like I was going for it, and therefore you end up striking more out the middle of the face.
Yeah, and that's one big thing we've seen with Dave, that he struggles on the golf course, even on the mid-handicap series of Break 80, sometimes loses his balance when the driver's out. We go for it a little bit more, we're on that long par 4, we want to get there. Everybody does the same, don't worry. But consistently, as we'll see on the screen, 220 yards, well 219.4, 221.4 and 220.2. So all within a yard, and dispersion wise, all down the middle of the fairway. So the benefit obviously of the G425, he wasn't hitting the centre of the face, but dispersion was obviously a lot more wayward. Yeah. This has now brought him into the middle of the fairway. In the summer, on a fairway, on a firm fairway, it's going to be running out to 250, 240, 250. So it's going to be more than enough distance for Dave's handicap. So we've got to think there, is that something for Dave? Getting a little bit of a smaller head, having the focus that he can't go after this, as opposed to with his driver, because he knows he's got a big face to aim at, he goes at it aggressive, hits it anywhere on the face, and it's very inconsistent. The consistency there is always down the middle. Okay, that's not going to happen every time, but much easier to hit. Dave had to actually focus a little bit more. So think about that, guys. Is a mini driver something for you? For Dave, so far, I would say, even though last week I thought we had the winner, I think this consistency-wise is going to be better for Dave. Yeah. And that's the main thing. Consistency-wise, we want Dave down the middle more often. He's getting better around the greens, putting better. Irons, we're going to be looking shortly at a 6 hybrid that Dave wanted in his bag. But if this can get him down there and closer more consistently, it's going to be better. And if the off-centered hits are much closer to that, it's already, even if an off-centered hit goes 210, that's already further than his miss hits with his M1, with the other drivers, which were going 180, 190.
We're like 30 yards below that.
So, hopefully you're enjoying this series, guys. Comment below which drivers do you want to see coming up. There are obviously new ones coming out from Callaway, TaylorMade. We also have the TSR driver from Titleist. But who has got a mini driver? Can you get hold of mini drivers? This is James Robinson, so I don't think Dave's going to be able to use it. So he's going to have to find one. If anyone's selling one, Dave could be your man. Golf bidder. Right, guys, hopefully you've enjoyed that, and we'll see you again next week.